Like, should we sit in silence, like, to open the podcast?
What do you think, sweetie? Is it good?
Hey piggy people, I just was outside picking some grass for the piggies. So I always pick it into a Tupperware bowl and then we rinse. So I'll usually fill up the bowl to cover the grass 3 or 4 times.
Okay, holy cow. We'll subscribe to Skinny Piggies 1. Good Lord.
I didn't think there was going to be a voice.
I know, the voice came out of nowhere, dude. Man.
That wasn't what I meant, though. There's like videos of them like with one shard, just like it just like goes in. Yeah.
Should we find it, or do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is important.
You're right. Why would I think anything other?
Do like guinea pig eating a blade of grass.
Okay. Now I have to spell guinea pig again. Oh God, it's eating a cat? Was that what? Oh, eaten by cat. Oh my God. Blade of guinea pig eating same blade of grass? Oh no. Oh.
Why?
This one has 34 million views.
Okay, that could work though.
Who's gonna win? Like Lady and the Tramp. Oh!
Monkeys react to magic.
Okay.
Bringing in deep hole.
Oh God. Can this even?
Do the trick. No, he's ignoring you. Okay, do it. Oh! Woo! Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, one more here.
Animals are amazing. Wow. Oh my God.
Wow, that's adorable.
My eyes like watering right now.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So, hi.
Saying hi to me? Or hi
Yeah.
to people?
Oh, both.
Okay.
What's up? Okay, cool. Okay, so earlier today, we were talking about more than just political assholes, but we were talking about how strange taking pictures of yourself and filming yourself is as a business, and how it's kind of hard to feel authentic when you're just trying to set yourself up and portray yourself as like this weird certain version of you that you want other people to know you as. But my question is, how do you think social media has changed your personality?
I wouldn't say that it has.
Really?
I don't think it has. I think I've like grown like off the screen, and that's been like portrayed on the screen, but I don't think it necessarily has affected like who I am as a person.
Because,
Like,
go ahead.
I was like, do you think it like changed your personality? Like,
I think there's a thing to balance. Like, we were talking about how you can get higher highs and lower lows in social media, and you can start to value numbers. And something I struggle with is because, like, I think you were also on the same way, that you're trying to make as authentic of a video as possible to like who you are, and like with a podcast and stuff like that. But then like when the video doesn't do well, or the podcast doesn't do, or like less than you expect, because you were so authentic, you're like, well, do people just not like who I actually am?
Yeah.
And then you're like, do I need to change myself so I may be more flashy and end up like a David Dobrik vlog? Or like, what do I do, you know?
Yeah, I think it's weird because I feel like people really like authentic people, but they like authentic people that are also like into trending things, if that makes sense. Like I feel like when I was younger, I gained a lot of recognition because I was vegan, and that was like such a big community at the time. And then like it hadn't really been a thing before, like for vegan YouTubers to like exist, and vegan like influencers and content creators. And I think I was just lucky with the timing. But definitely once that wore out, I don't know, it like I didn't do as well with my videos. So it's interesting because like I stayed the same like authentic like person, I would say, or I tried to, but it's like it just changes with also like what's trending and what's not trending.
Wow.
It's weird.
That's kind of sick. Ugh.
Well, if you look at it too, because like even the people now that are like really being recognized for being like authentic content creators are still like people who are like follow the same trending things that society is looking for right now.
See, I don't think that would work for me because like I find I like start liking trends like 5 years after they were cool. Like I recently got over the dab, you know, like, and that was so 2014. And so like, I don't know, people would get mad at me, man, but who cares? Hit one, dude, you gotta.
Maybe at the end.
Wow. Okay.
We'll save it.
Okay. No, but like, I don't know. For whatever reason, like 5 years, 2 years after it's cool, I'm like, yeah, let me check this out. Okay, I like it. Let me try it out now. Like it was like with like Stranger Things, like it was the whole craze. And then like a year later, I was like, well, people stopped liking it. So let me try it, because I have this, I do have a fear of being in the masses.
No, I get, yeah, me too.
I've realized like last fall I went to a concert, and I hadn't only been to one concert before, and it was like one of those like with your dad kind of thing. Yeah. But I was in this concert, and like this, you know, crowd of like 5,000 people. We were seeing like Ty Verde. I don't know if you know him, but he came to the school I'm at right now. But it was like his up and coming thing. But I'm like in this crowd of like 5,000 kids. And I got so sad because I was like, I feel like a sheep. Like we're all jumping at the same time, and it's like cool, but like the same time, like, I don't know, like I don't like being told what I am, you know, and like what to do. And like, I don't know. I
get that.
I envy the Ty Verde, you know, the one that's like making the decisions of what the crowd should do in a way.
No, yeah. Society's weird. And like I feel like we all try, it's like we search for community our entire life, but it feels weird to like be in a community because then you feel like everyone is the same as you in a way, or like you're all supposed to be following these specific set of principles, like doing the same things, wearing the same things, like trending clothes. Like you look around and like, I don't know, I went to my hometown like yesterday, and I was just driving around. I was like, all of these 13-year-olds are wearing like skater clothes. What? And are like skateboarding around with like baggy clothes, like really like epic outfits. But I'm like, I was wearing like Justice then, and like neon Nike like shirts and shorts. And it's kind of sad in a way because I feel like social media like tells people what's cool to wear and how like what's cool to like be like and how you should act. And then it kind of just becomes this like big mob of like one personality, even though the personality is like to be different. Like I don't like.
Oh, yeah. No, I like how I relate this. I think I heard this in a movie or something one time, but it was like all these, it was like some guy talking to, and he was like kind of like one of the outsider kid, and he's like, what the heck are all these popular kids doing? And it's like they all go out and they think they're rebelling by going out and like partying and drinking in high school and stuff like that, only to realize that 98% of the kids are also doing that. So are they really doing anything rebellious, you know? And
Yeah.
I was like, huh, that's true. Like, that's just what we do.
It is. Yeah.
We just want to all fit in and be cool.
No, definitely. Yeah. It's hard. I think it's hard with social media too, because it's like we were talking about earlier, like you can portray yourself in any way that you choose. Like you get to choose how people view you. And even me, like I follow people on Instagram who I've never met in real life, and I have a completely like created image of like who they are, how they act, what they're interested in, like how they talk, like in my brain.
And you
It's
don't
like
know them at all.
I've never met them, never even seen them in person. I know who they are from like friends or like friends of friends, and they're like in my same like community, but I've never seen them, but I feel like I know everything about them.
Have people come up to you and been like, oh my God, what's up? And they like think they know you?
Yeah.
How is that feeling?
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, it's just weird. I don't know. It's like, well, yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's a weird feeling to like feel like people know you when you're like, you don't know me. Like you may know a side of me, but like you don't know me.
Huh. Yeah, that's kind of scary. But like
It's weird.
there you do, I think you do, you're trying. What my guess is like you're valuing your audience, because like obviously you care about your audience, but then at the same time you also value yourself, and you're going through this constant like, how do I value both but also myself more? But then like your fans start to be like, what the heck, man, like why aren't you posting? And like it gets kind of greedy, I find.
It's because your brand is yourself, you know? Like I was saying that earlier, like when you post yourself on social media and like you make money from it, that brand, like you're creating a brand, and that brand is yourself, what you look like, what you wear, how you talk, how you interact with people. Like it all is just this giant system creating this image of like this person, and like that person becomes this like brand name. And it's a weird, yeah, I don't know. Like I look at even like influencers now. I don't know, like I'm not gonna like say names, but like a bunch of people my age who are just like doing modeling and just like traveling a bunch, meeting up with other influencers and like doing a lot of campaigns for like big companies. And it's just kind of weird to me how we like idolize these people and how they're like so influential over the masses. Like I swear so many trends have come from influencers. It's like one influencer starts journaling, and then all of a sudden it's really cool to journal, and it's not like a weird hobby for like introverted kids. It's like, no, like that's cool. And then everyone starts journaling because of this one person, because that's how much power people on the internet hold over people. And that's like the scariest thing for me, because I never want to be in a position where I like impact the way people view their life or like live their own life. And like it's just inevitable when you like have a platform, like you're gonna influence people.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you definitely do that, you know.
Yeah, but like I don't want to. Like that's, you know, like I want people to like be kinder to themselves and, you know, hold more space for themselves and like protect their own peace, and like, but that like I want that to come back to like their own life, not necessarily like compare that to like the things I'm doing, but to like use it as like a source of inspiration to like see the own beauty in their life. But I think unfortunately that kind of gets like transposed into like, well, I don't have mountains near me, so like I can't do that, or like I, you know, like I'm in a different situation, so I can't find like peace or stuff like that, because I feel like it kind of creates this like contrasting, comparing lives instead of just like supporting each other like as a community.
Huh. A message that you pushed while you were doing social media was mindfulness and being present, like you were saying. How do you be kind to yourself?
That's a good question. I think it's been like a constant work in progress. I think that's something that like I'm still working towards, because like I created my channel, I created my videos because I was like struggling, and I was helping to heal my relationship with myself pretty much by like telling other people to be kind to themselves. And I think like as I grow older, it's becoming more apparent like you really like you can't, that's not how you heal your relationship with yourself. You can't just go around trying to heal other people, and that will end up healing yourself, you know. I think I did that a lot through high school. Even just like with my friends I've known forever, like I just constantly want to like, I want them to like love themselves, you know. Yeah, I don't know, I think it's still work in progress, but I do all the things like I tell people to do. I'm big into walking, you know. Journaling, it has been really helpful for me actually. I know I was like poking fun at it earlier, but it is such a healing practice for me, like really just being able to write anything and not feel like you're being judged, because you know that like it's just for you. Because I feel like I can't always like talk to people with like what I'm feeling, because it just like sometimes it feels like egotistical or just like narcissistic to like be so like absorbed in my own thoughts. Like that's how I perceive it. But journaling, yeah, that was long.
No, you're good. That's okay. So you kind of you see like talking about yourself as selfish in a way, like talking about your own feelings, and it's liberated by the fact that no one else has to read your journal, maybe.
I don't, not necessarily. I think I would just prefer to like listen to other people than like talk about my feelings, which is not good. And like in relationships, that's a really bad.
Have you been in a relationship before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has that been hard? I imagine that's hard.
No, yeah, that was definitely like the hardest part for me, was like being able to communicate like, yeah, yeah, it was, yeah. I think I definitely struggle with like being able to communicate like what I necessarily like need, and also being able to communicate like things that like upset me. I'm so bad at that. And then I just feel like I just hold it up, and then that just creates this like resentment. And it's like you have to talk about things, especially in relationships. You have to be open, like express feelings, and not good at that.
So kind of paralleling, so one reason that I love doing the podcast is because I have this outlet to just ask interesting people about things that I'm personally struggling with. And so one question I have for you is, where do you derive your self-worth?
That's a really good question. I would say derive it on how loved I make other people feel. I would say like what I can do for the people who I'm closest with in my life. Like I have one friend right now who's been really struggling, and being able to help her has like really been helping me, because it makes me feel like I'm like worth something, and like I have like purpose, even if it's in like a small way, like being able to make an impact on people, specifically in my own life. Like I think that was my goal with social media, but I just kind of realized that it's so much more powerful when you can do it to an actual person. And yeah, I don't know if that's like the best like thing to like derive your self-worth from, now that I'm thinking of it. Like but yeah.
No, because it's interesting because what you were saying right before, where like you struggle to be able to like find it in yourself, so you're trying to find it in other people to kind of make you feel good about how you feel, and then it kind of helps, but maybe there's still like the root that's not quite healed almost.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Humans are so complex, man.
Humans are very complex. Yeah.
Like,
Weird world.
how did you find like this sense of mindfulness and inner peace, given that your job was like social media?
I mean, I delete Instagram like every other day. So like I mean, I'm not on social media a lot. I would really just like post, reply to people, and then like call it quits. But I think also I'm very, very lucky with like my family life. I have a very peaceful family, and that I would say is really, really helpful because it's like off the screen. I generally like I'm surrounded by peace. I'm really blessed in that way where I don't have like a really traumatic like family experience or anything like that. I mean, at school it's a little different. Like,
oh no.
Like when I was mostly like doing YouTube and stuff, I think just having like my own space. Also, I've been lucky enough to like have my own room, and I am just like such a creature of just like needing my own space. And I think just having a place for like my mind to like just be with myself, and like I spend so much time alone when I'm home because I like it generally like recharges me and makes me feel like a stable human.
No, I honestly I feel that also. Like
Yeah.
I have like this weird dichotomy where like I need to be alone a lot of times, but to recharge, but then also like being, I don't know, like in this weird way, like being the guy who's like entertaining the people or like being that showman is also very recharging to me. So like I'm like either here or here, it's either like I want to be entertaining 100 people, or so I want to be like not a person within 100 miles of me. And it's like, how do you balance that? Yeah.
It's like you got to have that contrast. Yeah, it's important. I think for some people too, like it's so important, like you're saying, like some people really need like that social interaction.
Yeah, no, because like the past couple, so I was out west doing the van thing, and then I was like, I need to find a new direction. So then I went back to my parents in Illinois, and then I was there, and then for like a couple months, and I don't really have any friends there,
Yeah.
so like the lack of socialness like got to me so bad. Like you just like you need to talk to people, else you just go crazy, man.
Definitely. Yeah.
I heard a quote once that was like, he was talking about thoughts, and he's like, if you are thinking too much, you begin thinking about thoughts, and then that means you're thinking about stuff that only doesn't exist, which that's scary.
Whoa. Yeah. I never thought about that. Because we're all in our heads so much. It's like we spend 99% of our time just like in our head thinking of things that just don't even exist.
I was actually talking to my friend last night, and she was saying like she struggles with like anxiety and depression and stuff, and she says that like when she's like having like really bad thoughts, like one of the things she likes to do is just run her hands under warm water, cool water, to like feel her body instead of just her mind. So like you run it over, and like you just for a couple minutes you're like, oh, my hands feel cold in this water.
Wow.
And that's like what you think about, and then it helps you like come back to like your bodies in the world, because that's like, this is reality.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. It's probably a really good practice, kind of like get out of your head.
She also said she has peppermint essential oil in with her, because it's so strong that like she'll like smell it, and then it's like, oh, peppermint. And then you can kind of like, you're like, okay, I can smell. I'm in the world. I'm okay. I'm okay. Okay.
Shock your system a bit. Interesting.
What do you think is something that is holding you back from being the best version of you, and how are you evolving through it?
I would say I definitely just like perfectionism and like the need to like whatever I do for it to be perfect. And like even in school, like I'm already in college and I'm still stressing about grades. like it's so annoying. But I would say even for like little projects that I want to do, like when I was saying I always wanted to start a podcast. I just never did it because I was like, it's first of all, couldn't figure it out, but also I was like, I just don't feel like my words are gonna be as good as other people's, and I don't feel like I'll have like the most entertaining podcast. I don't feel like I would be able to like be that kind of person. And I feel like that definitely like goes into a bunch of other things in my life, which definitely is a really limiting belief and a really limiting cycle when you constantly feel like you can't do something unless it's going to be the best, which happens with so many things like sports. So competitive. Like, oh my God.
You are?
Like, I did gymnastics growing up, and I just
that's weird. My girlfriend did gymnastics growing up.
Of course. I'm not surprised.
We've been having this weird thing for the audience. We're having this weird thing where like her and my girlfriend are living like the same life, and it's very strange.
That's
like
really
they
weird.
both grew up in the same place, liking the same things or studying the same things. It's weird.
That's so weird.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like gymnastics too definitely kind of trains you into that because it's very based around perfection. At least mine was. I had a really bad gymnastics experience. We had very toxic coaches, and just the environment wasn't healthy. And I think that definitely instilled my need to like have everything be perfect. But yeah.
I mean, because gymnastics is a sport of perfection. Like you have to point your toes at the exact right angle, or like my girlfriend would tell me like, yeah, like if you get a wedgie in the middle of routine, you can't pick it, else you lose points.
This is the worst thing ever because it's so uncomfortable. Like it's so uncomfortable, and then your entire bunch is showing. The entire audience.
For like the next minute, you're just like,
and that's better than just like touching your Leo. That's so weird. And we're like 8 too. Like so weird. I'm interested to hear your perspective though. What do you think is limiting for you? Like what do you struggle with in that sense? What you thinking?
Yeah. I usually ask the questions here. I'd say lately, okay, this is social media angle to start, okay, is maybe, I mean, this can be applied up to across the board, but receiving feedback from people or things like an analytic on YouTube that's objective, because that's just a number, and then being able to take that and be like, okay, how do I pivot and keep going and not have that it's not perfect? How does that not lower my self-worth within me? Because I'm like if I take a criticism from somebody like tells me something I could do better, I need to be able to go whoop and then just go, instead of being like, well, did they mean it? Am I bad? Get into yourself, mind spiral. Then you need to sniff peppermint, and then you're like, okay, and then I go. You know, like how do you just like go? And I think that's what a lot of successful people, like when in whatever your term of it is like success or like in confidence in yourself, is like you're able to take criticism and being able to just adapt like instantly.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And so like one thing that I would like could relate that to is like we were saying, like recording yourself, like you're constantly recording yourself, watching it back, editing it, and then self-reflection. You're like, wait, what did I do wrong, do right? And it's like,
I mean, the amount of footage I cut out just because I didn't like the angle or like how I looked in the clip, even if it was like a really cool clip. Yeah. Because we pick ourselves apart.
yeah. But what it does, like if you can like be the master of your own mind in that way, like you can grow so fast through it because like that's why YouTube people are so charismatic, because they literally analyze how they interact with themselves and the world and the people around them on a day-to-day basis, like objectively. And,
It's weird.
but you can also be a slave to it, like
Definitely.
and that's like anything. It's like the internet. Like the internet is the most powerful tool in the world, and it can be your greatest gift or your greatest like horror show, depending on if you're able to be the master of your own mind or the servant to it.
Yeah. 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 Definitely.
So you recently took off of social media. You took step back. You're like, I need a break. I don't want it. I think I'm going to do something else. I need a new chapter in my life, which is a respectable and good thing to do because you're valuing yourself. But on the dichotomy of it, since your audience has such a strong connection to you and the people in your community and your videos, has there been like a hardship in leaving social media, knowing that you provide so much to people?
Definitely. I think that was the hardest thing. That's definitely something that prevented me from doing it for so long, because I've received so many messages from just the most kind-hearted, beautiful people ever, but just saying that I healed them, or without me, like they don't know if they would be here, and just stuff that really is something that like you internalize. And it's a lot of pressure because you feel like in a way, a lot of the people in my audience grew up with me, because I really I gained my following at a very young age, and then like I didn't really grow anymore. It wasn't like a constant like exponential growth. It was really like grow, and then kind of just like people just stayed with me. And those people, we're all the same age when I started, and we're all the same age now. So it's a weird relationship, because it's not necessarily like I'm older than them, but it still kind of feels like people looked up to me in that sense, which is just strange, especially coming from someone who's still trying to figure themselves out. Like I think we're all still trying to figure ourselves out, and we're all still trying to figure out who we are and what we want to do in this world. And there's definitely that sense of responsibility that comes with having a platform, especially when a lot of it was focused around self-love and like growth and just being kind to yourself. And I think that brings in a very specific crowd that doesn't necessarily have that figure in their personal life. A lot of the people who have reached out to me say that they have really bad family lives, or they've never had someone like validate their self-worth, or they have never had someone tell them that they're worthy. And that is just the most heartbreaking thing I have ever heard. And it's really hard to feel like I am going to be another person who's just not present in their life in that way. It's tough. Yeah.
How did you decide that this was worth it?
I think for me, I have so much resentment every time I post anything, and I have for so many years. And I think I've also realized that there's so much power that comes from having interactions off the screen. And like this summer, I'm going to be working at like a summer camp and things like that, where you can work with kids, one-on-one. I think can be just as impactful, if not more, because it's not disposable. Videos are disposable. I can private video anytime, and then what I said in that video is gone. But when you connect with people in person in real life, you can really help people. And I think for me, I'd rather have, you know, a lifelong impact on a handful of people than just, you know, made someone's day once. It's definitely hard though. I don't think I haven't really come to terms with it yet, because it's still something that's really heavy, you know.
For sure. Do you have any ideas on how that you can still provide resources or provide something to your audience that's stuck with you that feels like it's not against who you are?
I think the community in itself has done a lot for each other. I did these community posts on Instagram where I was like, if you guys like have any interest, like write them in the comments, and people would comment their name, like what they're interested in, where they're from. And like there are thousands of comments like replying to each other, like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like I'm also interested in like collecting rocks. And then these people would DM me being like, I just met my best friend from this post. So I think it really just goes to show like how much beauty there are in people, and how communities like this and platforms like this really can be used for good. And they can be like, it's one, like I've seen it. I've seen people be so kind to each other in the comments, and someone will say that they're having a bad day, and you'll have 10 responses of people being like, I hope you are being kind to yourself and taking care of yourself. And I think that I don't think that I necessarily need to be there for that to spread. You know, I think those are just good people. And I think no matter if they're commenting on my post or on other people's posts, it's still gonna be there. And that's just love. Like there's so much love in our world. And I think it's easy to kind of not see it. And I definitely struggle with like separating what's going on with our world from the people and how much kindness and love is in our society. But it's there, you know, it's there and it's prevalent. I've met people in my own life who are, you know, just like the epitome of love, like and you can't take that away.
A lot of creators or anyone with an audience will often say how, like, say, you've changed my life to their fans. But not very often do they say specifically how it happened or like how they did. Like how has the community that you've helped build specifically changed your life?
I mean, in so many ways. I had no friends like my first 2 years in high school, literally none. I had just gotten out of gymnastics, and my friend group was my gymnastics team. And when I quit, actually my parents like pulled me out. So when I wasn't in gymnastics anymore, I was just kind of like, what do I do now? Because all my friends were still doing gymnastics. I couldn't really hang out with them because they would just talk about gymnastics, and like it just was sad to me. And I started YouTube because I went head first into veganism, and I found people who were also vegan. I met Ashley Wicca, who is one of my friends. She's still doing social media and stuff. She was one of the first people I ever followed on my main account, which used to be Young and Vegan. And I don't know, we had like 10 followers each, and it was like our parents and like a few like random like bot accounts. And I met her, and that like for the first time was just like, there's someone who's interested in the same things as me, and like there's someone out there who wants to hang out with me for who I am. Because school was rough. Like I had so many people just like saying shitty things and just like weird stuff, just like making fun of like what I ate, which is funny because veganism is now like totally a trend and like so popular. And like it's so cool if you're vegan. Back then, like I was like just harassed for it. But like the more people that followed me, the more friends I made. And like we literally like I became friends with all of the people at the beginning who followed me, because I was like, this is so cool that there are people out there, even if this person's in Edinburgh, like they like me for me, and that's more than I found in my real life. Yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful for those people. Like literally everyone who followed me was the reason that I was like okay being who I was, because in my town I didn't have anyone that was interested in like what I was interested in. I think my family is a very niche family. Like my dad's a farmer, my mom's like cool, like trippy psychedelic artist. Like she does a lot of art stuff, and that just doesn't really go into like a cattle and dairy town. So it was just like we were kind of just outsiders, and then that really helped me feel like I, at least at some point in my life, are gonna find people that really appreciated me for me, and that just made me like kind of come into myself more, I would say.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. That's you're able to find so many people. So you've mentioned veganism a few times. I know that you had some kind of arc with it, and then and then you had to like pivot from that. What exactly happened there?
Well, first of all, I have really bad stomach issues.
Okay.
I can't eat pretty much any legumes, so like beans, lentils, can't eat them unless I want to be in pain for like the next 3 days. And I think also when I went vegan, I went into like the high carb, low fat. I don't know. Have you heard of like Freely the Banana Girl?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so she's like this woman who I don't even know what she's doing now, but she kind of started this like veganism cult with just a lot of like you would eat like 10 bananas in the morning, like blended up, and then you'd eat like I don't know, like dates blended with water for lunch, and then you'd have like potatoes and lettuce for dinner, and that was like the epitome of health at the
Whoa.
time. Yeah, and like man, probably like 3 years I would not eat fat. Like I would not touch something if it had oil in it. I was like, no, like that's gonna give me heart disease. Like it came along definitely with like the perfectionism. I needed to have like the most perfect diet to like what I thought was going to be the healthiest for me, and it just was not healthy. I was just not healthy. And I think also just like I don't know, just coming from that and like finally like healing my relationship with food in that sense, I kind of just came to be like I don't want to have restrictions on my diet anymore. Like I just don't want to. I want to be able to support ethical companies and sustainable companies and local farms, and I don't want to necessarily be constrained to this label, because veganism is just another label in my opinion. I think that there's so many people who can be healthy being vegan, but I don't necessarily think, even from an environmental standpoint, that it's like the only way you can eat if you want to be earth conscious and health conscious. So yeah, I honestly I don't even know what like changed in my brain. Just like one day I was just like, you know what, maybe I want to eat an egg. And then I ate an egg, and then I just kind of went from there.
Were you okay? Like, was eating the egg repulsive or?
Oh, I hated it. I felt so much guilt. It wasn't even necessarily physical. It just like I felt like the worst scum of the earth for eating an egg.
Interesting.
Like it was horrible. And I mean, it took so long for me not to have guilt like eating animal products. And like we get all of our products local too. Like the eggs are from my dad's farm. And I was so guilty because labels are constraining, and yeah.
Huh. I'm actually vegan, so
Yeah.
what's up?
How do you feel about like labels though? Like, because not everyone like feels like limited in that sense.
I'm not a big labels guy. Like I think that branches out to everything. I think I think that's one of the silliest things we do is we try to make teams and sides to everything. Like you see that so prevalently in like politics, where it's like, why do we have a blue team and a red team that only can think the same way? That makes no sense, right? Like, why do all the Democratic candidates always have the same opinions and all the Republican candidates always have the same opinions? Like, what? It makes no sense. Like, and I don't know, like we don't seem like anywhere close to getting away from that, you know? So, but like specifically with like veganism, I don't know. I think I definitely feel like a slight obligation maybe to continue doing it, but like it's like look, like lately I've honestly been like open to the idea, like lately, like if something says like it might, you know, this might have honey in it, I'm like, I want to eat the damn sandwich, you know, like I'm like, eh. You know, as before, like 3 years ago, I'd be like I was doing the same thing as you. I was like so strict on everything. Like I was like I didn't go out to restaurants because I didn't know what they were doing with the food. Yeah, right, bro. Like I wouldn't do anything because I was like, I don't know what they're doing back there. Like they're probably trying to scam me out of my veganism, like, you know, and you're like, wait, what? And it's then kind of in my mind, I'm like, you know, like maybe like slight cross contamination of like these foods might even be more natural and good for you, you know, like just like having more foods in your diet is usually a good thing as long as they're not Cheetos, you know, like.
No, I would say I feel like I wish I could be vegan and healthy. Like, you know, like I do. I wish that I could eat fully plant-based to like feel my best. But I feel like as long as like you're vegan and not like vegan in a way that's like to be restrictive, like it's a great way to live, I think.
I think the biggest thing it does is it makes you question in a healthy way whether or not you should be eating something.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it changed my entire mindset on our food system and how things are created. Like it's disgusting. Like factory farming and like I will never like support that. I will never just like buy cafeteria beef, like or cafeteria like even dairy, like I just can't. I just have too I know too much about our food system. Like I was talking to my dad about that the other day. I was like, I almost wish I didn't know. Like there's such a peace in like not knowing these things. Yeah.
Cafeteria beef is like a good band name.
Cafeteria. Oh my god, that is like a nice like punk band.
Yeah, because they're like, they didn't you just talk about shit that happened in middle school that pissed you off and now you haven't gotten over it yet. Like resentment to your parents that you had when they didn't do something for you when you were 13 and now you're like letting it out by screaming into a microphone with your homies in the garage. Yeah, let's go. So you were telling me before this that you're like really passionate about a specific species of chinchillas in Argentina.
Oh, let me pull it up. Actually, okay. So chinchillas used to be found in Bolivia, Peru, Argentina, and Chile, but now they're pretty much only known in colonies in Chile. I found that out.
Really? What
Yeah,
they do?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're probably still found, but I don't think they're as prevalent. Something though that's interesting about chinchillas is that they bathe in dust.
Yeah, because actually, my girlfriend had chinchillas. I did know that.
In dust?
They bathe in dust because one time the chinchilla accidentally fell in the toilet and then they had to take it like to the vet because it can't get wet.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I read it just because it's like something about the oil, like they can like the oil in their fur has to be like taken off by like the grains of dust because it like sticks to the dust, but in water it just like wouldn't go anywhere.
Weird.
I know.
We need to start. we should probably start a movement to help chinchillas get back to Argentina. You know?
We started an Instagram like chinchillas. It's a nonprofit. That could be where the Apples Fund goes.
Exactly.
Apples for chinchillas. It rolls off the tongue.
Wait, lock down that Instagram handle real quick.
I can't. We're all out.
Oh shoot.
I know.
We're gonna need to have a third homie in this this trio right here.
Definitely.
Just for their Instagram handles.
An investor for the Instagram handles.
Yeah. Jesus. So
yeah. I mean, I think most people probably don't have 6 accounts. So we should be able to find someone.
Yeah. Because we locked them all down with, you know, some things. You'll find out someday, guys. Like,
just wait.
Just you wait. Blow your mind. You might never know either, because it might be anonymous. We haven't decided yet. So
maybe you won't know.
Now we're just teasing everyone.
I know.
Shoot. I guess you're gonna have to stick around.
Just wait. Just wait.
I guess speaking of sticking around, for the true fan of yours, how can they still like support you and your values in the next chapter of your life?
I mean, like tangibly, they can't. But I would say, yeah, just continuing to. I mean, like, can't in the sense that I don't think I'll be present on social media. So, like, supporting me personally isn't really like feasible. But I would say, in terms of my morals and values, I would say just using social media for good. You know, being someone who is sharing love on social media and isn't contributing to the pool of hate and ideals and fakeness and unrealistic expectations of what people should look like, how we should act, what we should eat. I think it all kind of just comes down to just, you know, trying to be a good person and be a good person for other people.
How do you push yourself to be a better person personally?
I would say I check myself. Because, you know, everyone, like, we all make judgments. We're walking around and we see someone with, you know, maybe they're wearing like a full-on onesie leotard. And like our first instinct is always gonna be like, what the heck? Like,
wait, but sometimes I do that. So
and I do too. And I think it's just like, I think it's just recognizing that like it's inevitable to make judgments, you know.
Oh,
like,
I meant I was in the onesie walking around.
No, I know, and I'm the one judging you.
At Walmart, Jesus Christ! Can we just have a little fun? Goddamn!
I had like Eeyore onesie.
Oh, which one? Eeyore?
Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my god, dude! I
wish I still had it.
Love Winnie the Pooh with like that is like the show that will make me laugh more than anything in the world is Winnie the Pooh. Like to this day.
It's a good show.
Like I could, God, they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Go ahead. But I'm sorry, I think I cut you off. You were saying how like check yourself.
Oh, I would say, yeah, just like check myself and make sure like I'm also taking responsibility for like things that I am doing that aren't aligned with like what I perceive the best version of myself to be.
And how do you, okay, because so somebody that I had on the podcast like a month ago was saying how, you know, if you went up to somebody, 99% of people think that they're a good person because they set their own standards. Because like if, in a way, like if you compare yourself, this is what he said. He said, if you compare yourself to the worst of the worst, you're going to look like an angel, right? And so like, in a way, that's what he's saying. So in how I relay that back is like how do you check yourself objectively, knowing that you're going to have personal bias?
I don't even know if you can. I think that's also where having honest friends come in, like having friends and outside people, they're like what? Like, no, like that's not okay. Because like I feel like I'll like so many times I'll like, I don't know, I can't think of like a thing, but like you'll do something and your friend will be like, what the heck? Like that's not cool. Or like you'll catch yourself maybe like talking about someone who you shouldn't be talking about, and then someone's like, I don't actually think it was like that bad. Like like I think that was cool of them or something. And I think just like having those people who aren't gonna just like tap into, oh my god, my dog is barking, who aren't gonna tap into that like negativity is really important. Like check your friends too. Like if you're surrounded by friends and they're saying stuff about other people, or they're just, talking poorly about something, I think it's really important to be honest and, don't let things slide like that, because that's when it just gets into a loop and then becomes normal, and then it becomes okay, and then that's just normalized to kind of not be very kind.
Like that. Where do you, so you've taken this step to something else. What are we moving into? Like, where are we going? Like, where do you see your life taking you in the next, short term, long term?
I want to do research. That's like my end goal. Once I graduate, I want to probably going to go to grad school somewhere in NorCal, and then just start doing research and just trying to live, as simply as I can, and hopefully meet some really cool people along the way. I would love to travel, but we'll see if that, it's becoming hard now, I feel like, to travel, just not even just in general with like the borders and stuff, just finances is really hard to like, I don't know, separate that. But yeah, I don't really know. Right now I'm kind of just studying and letting myself kind of have some time to figure out what I want to do.
So what are you studying exactly?
I'm studying environmental science with a concentration in conservation biology.
And then you were saying earlier how you wanted to go something with the Northern California coastline or something like that.
Yeah, well, not necessarily just coastline. I'm more so interested in like redwood forest ecosystems and like the mycelium ecosystems and fungi networks and how that kind of interacts with our environment, but kind of just like ecology in Northern California. I grew up here, it's my home, and I've seen change. I've seen, we've had so many fires in my town, and it's been really sad to kind of watch my home burn to the ground and see friends have their homes burned down, and it impacts you in a really big way to kind of grow up watching, your earth just die around you. It was, I mean, oh man, I think it was 2019. We had one of the worst fire seasons. We had nearly a month off school because we couldn't even go outside without having N95 on and goggles. There were giant chunks of ash flying everywhere, and I think the fire was 40 miles away from us. And it was just this like, it's just this blanket of soot and dust and ash, and like people's homes just like disintegrated into the air. And you would drive, there's this one road in Sonoma, and we would drive, and both sides of the road were just completely burned down. Homes, like hundreds and hundreds of homes, just burned to the ground. And the issue with it is that all those homes were, homes of low income workers. Those weren't wealthy homes. You look around, you see all the vineyards with these giant mansions perfectly intact. And it really just shows wealth disparity. Like it was obvious and really, really horrible to see, because, those are people who can't buy a new home. Those are generational homes. Sonoma has a lot of wealth disparity, and we also have a lot of people who don't have documentation, and disasters like these, like they can't stay in California anymore. This is where they've built their life, but police are going to come, federal agents are going to come, and we've seen it happen. And my dad works in a winery, and it was really, really hard to find pickers because they were deported. And it's, I think it all goes into who is managing these environments, who's in power, people in power, politics. But I think that also just having control of our surrounding environments can help prevent these things, because honestly, like, I don't think there's anything we could do about the politics, but I think protecting the homes of people and making our area less flammable and making it more fire resistant, like planting more native species that aren't going to spread the fire, is something that like I can actually do, because I can't change our immigration laws. I can't change things that play into that. But yeah, I want to do something with that, which is a lot, but
Yeah. What do you think your value as yourself as Pippin? What do you think your value is to that industry?
I mean, I think everyone who's interested in it has a value. What do you necessarily like? What industry?
Like to the conservation environment, like just to protecting Northern California, conservation in Northern California. Like, what do you provide specific, like personally? Like, what do you think that you have that you can offer?
I mean, I think I've just seen destruction, I've seen the impact, and I'm someone like, I would rather be living off of $50 a week than be, doing well and feeling like I'm not making a difference. And I think really like that's pretty prevalent among a lot of environmental science majors and just people who are interested in protecting ecosystems and stuff like that, because it's not necessarily a lucrative job to get into, unless you're going into like environmental law or consulting or something like that. But like research and just actually like going out in the field and planting things and cleaning up the forest floor, like you're not going to make a lot of money. And I think really anyone who's interested in that is doing it for the reason of trying to help the environment and help the people in the community on that environment. Because yeah, like one of my professors was talking about it, how like the earth is going to be fine, the earth is going to come back, but our species won't. So really climate change right now, like we have so much of a focus on it being for the earth, but like it needs to be for our species. It needs to be for future generations, because the earth's going to be fine. It's just going to be inhabitable for us.
That I like that, because I think there is an overemphasis on like we need to protect the earth and stuff, and it's like, yo guys, the earth is a little stronger than we are, man. Like we're not gonna just, the rock's not gonna be gone, and I don't know, stuff's gonna change. All that we're in like legitimizing is that things will change, ecosystems will change, and then the things that inhabit it will change, and we are the things that inhabit it. So we're the thing that's going to change. That mountain right there, right there, is still going to be here, whether or not we are, unless we blow it up with an atomic bomb or something.
Which we could.
With what we're doing. But no, I really like what you're saying. I'd say, lastly, what's your favorite animal?
Man, I feel like that's such a common question for people to ask, and I still don't have a favorite animal. For a long time, it was sloths. I don't know why. I had a weird obsession with them. Like for one birthday, I think all of my friends got me sloth themed gifts. I still have like a collection of like sloth sticky notes. I have a pin. I have 2 stuffed animals.
Have you
but
aged
now,
out, or like is this still who you are?
no, I don't know when that transition crossed over. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I like a lot of animals. I'm not like huge into birds, which I feel like is strange. You know, I like lizards. I do.
Really?
I do. I feel like, yeah. Which is like kind of, I don't know if that's weird. Like salamanders kind of creep me out because it's slimy. But lizards are like, they just got their own thing going, you know? You could
Just
run them
vibing.
over and they're completely fine.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Well, like their tails. I don't think
Do
they
you
like
do
snap
that?
them.
Do you just like run over lizards for fun?
Occasionally, I'm just
I
like,
just-
I just want to cut off your tail.
That's what we do as kids, though. You never split the worm in half. You ever do that?
Nope.
You never done that?
I refused.
Oh, okay. If you split the worm in half, then the worms, they have 2 hearts or something, so they keep living.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, wait, oh my god, I went to summer camp growing up, and one of like the campfire skit things that they would do was like cutting a worm in half, but they had to stop because apparently it was like inhumane to like be slicing worms in front of a bunch of children. But
Wait, why would they slice the worms?
just like to like show, it was like part of like a skit.
Oh.
I don't know.
A strange skit.
Yeah,
But also like it's a worm. So like there's a little bit of like you have to figure
it's a
out.
worm. But also it's a worm.
It's
you
a
know?
worm, but it's
But
like
it's a worm.
It's a worm, but it's like it's a worm.
Worms are so important to our ecosystems.
But like 1 million get stepped on per day.
That's fair.
But it's still like, oh, it's a worm, you know.
Fair. I feel like you'd be into like big animals.
You think I'm into big animals?
Yeah, like a snow leopard.
Oh yeah. Actually, you hit me really. That's like was like you watched that Planet Earth too, where they had like a feature on snow leopards?
No, have you seen? Oh my god, the one with the sea, like the most recent.
I watched like 10 minutes of one and I was like, this is the best thing ever, but for whatever reason I had to stop and then I haven't gone back to it. But should I?
You can go back. It's, oh my god, amazing. Like I can watch it for hours. There's just so many weird like creatures. Like just the weirdest, like they look like little dinosaur alien things. Like it's so bizarre.
You know, it's so their cinematography is so beautiful too. It's like, how do they even do that?
I have no idea. I guess just submarines with really high quality like pictures.
Probably Photoshop too or something.
Well, I know they had like they had this one clip. Sorry, I need to stop talking about this, but they had this one clip that was under like this giant glacier, and they had to like literally construct this thing that could go to like the depth because of the pressure would crush it.
Whoa.
So it was like a 2% chance that they got the image and they got the video and they got it.
Wow.
Yeah, and it like you can just see the cracks in the glacier, like you see the ice like breathing underneath. There's also, oh my gosh, there's this video on YouTube. Her name is Joanna something. She lives in Sweden, I think. I know a lot about it, but she does these ice sounds where she records ice on like a frozen lake in the winter. Like it's incredible. Like anyone listening should look that up, like Google ice sounds Joanna something. And it's just like all of these howling, like screaming sounds. Like it sounds like communication in between the ice. It's really crazy.
Wow. I'll check it out. I'll check it out after this.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
Okay. Top travel destination.
I really want to go to Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Like, let's go.
Let's like we walk and we're like actually in the same room. Wait, I'll edit it in. And then I'm in your frame now.
I walk away.
And then like all of a sudden we're in Vietnam and it's like, oh, what's up? The first ever post. But
You can't
anyways,
say that. You're gonna have to bleep that out.
what did I say? I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're even talking about. Well, thank you for coming on, Pippin. It's been an absolute pleasure. I don't know. I feel like your friend and it feels awesome. So thank you.
No, thank you. I had a lot of fun.
Would you like to dab with me? No. Well, that sounds like a personal problem then.
Hey guys. Today I want to apologize for not dabbing. I have taken a few days to reconsider, and I've really just made up my mind that that was a really horrible thing that I could have done. I got really nervous towards the end of the podcast. I didn't know how to express myself fully in my dab. I've struggled a lot with confidence in the past, and it definitely showed through this. And my roommate's videoing me right now, which just proves how much I've been working on this, because she has been my rock in this. Literally, like, I feel so bad for every single day. I wake up and I just start dabbing, and it's a grind, and it's not easy. And just for anyone out there who's struggling also with their dabbing game, I want to apologize. Can you stop recording?
It's on me.
Stop.
I'm looking at myself.
I'm sorry for being so distracted. I'm sure this is all going to be cut out, but just for the viewers who are really committed, aka the one person I'm sending this to, I present to you my dab. Okay, you're gonna have to edit it to like a cool little montage, because I'm gonna do a few variations for you. This is the fast dab. This is the slow dab, but I'm gonna do it with the other arm. The other one you're gonna have to wait, because I am viciously sticking to things. So. Okay, you got pranked. I'm gonna do the low dab now.